Yo guys, what's good? Welcome back to NCS Arcade. Sam here as always. It's a big one today. Matthew V, Egzod, Arcando, they've all joined me for a little interview. How you guys doing?
Good, man.
Good.
Awesome.
Amazing. We're going to be talking about the new release Runaway, as well as musical background, how you guys came to collab together, and a whole lot more. So let's get right into it. Runaway, as the title suggests, is a super like escape, a get away from everything. I think you guys mentioned that it's that feeling of sort of building your own future. You're in your own lane, crafting your own sounds, each of you individually. What was it initially that made you want to get away from that sort of day-to-day, mundane, if you will, normal life and pursue these passions? Exile, to you first.
I mean, at first, it came with the passion of like DJing first. Just like, I think my first passion was just like sharing new music to people that never heard it before. That was like the first thing when I was like 12, 13. I was like the guy that like everyone would go to like discover new music, especially like, at 11, 12 years old, there was not as many places to discover new music. So like, I would spend like, well, back then, like at least people would spend way more time than now, like to create new music and stuff like that. You didn't have like all these algos and stuff. So like this passion then just, grew into like DJing and stuff like that. And from then, sorry, I was like, well, I enjoy, sharing new music, playing new music, but then I was like, but what if I start making my own? And then that's why I started like getting into it.
Arcando, for you, what was it that initially kicked off that buzz to really chase music?
I started already like playing guitar when I was 4, and then I started singing on like a really young age. And then I kind of realized that like making music was something that made me feel happy, made me feel sad, made me feel a whole bunch of emotions. And I thought, like, how cool would it be if I could like put that like if I could like really record that and I could put it into something. Like, I was so young, I didn't even know what was out there yet, like what kind of DAWs I could use. And then from there I started using a GarageBand or GarageBand. Still, I don't know till this day how you pronounce that DAW. And then I started kind of like slowly producing in GarageBand. And then yeah, that was like the first moment that I realized that music production was such an important thing in my life.
So it started for me probably a bit different than those guys. I was singing Shania Twain around the house. And so actually probably exactly the same as both of them. I think that's exactly how they started too. I think I read that somewhere. But and I was like a kid just obsessed with like performing and singing. And then I did 10 years of like classical opera training from like 7 to 17. And from there, like I was listening to like music at home, and I was training in classical and like singing in all these different languages, but very much like an instrument. When you sing opera, it's like you read what's on the page and you just deliver what's there. And I had like this urge to be more creative about it. Like I didn't want to just execute what was there. I wanted to like do runs. I wanted to like have my own freedom with things. So I just took my little keyboard that I had at home, and I took little colored stickers and placed them on chord 1. Like pink was chord 1 and green was chord 2 and blue was chord 3. And I just like kind of taught myself how to jump around the piano. And then from there I would just start humming things, and they were very terrible, and hopefully I've gotten better since then. But yeah, taught myself to write, and I moved to the UK to go to uni, and kind of found my own signature sound from just being there. And came home to Vancouver after the first year of school and signed my record deal in Canada. And I was like, well, I guess I'm gonna stay in Canada. And yeah, the rest is kind of history since then. But getting into top lining in the last few years has been really exciting for me and really fulfilling to able to like kind of be able to wear different hats. And I've always been such a fan of like dance music and EDM, and so to actually be able to put myself into that world and kind of learn all the subgenres and see myself executing has been a really cool thing. So thanks to all you guys for having me on.
Getting into the track a little bit more, we've obviously got a killer vocal alongside production from two, it's fair to say, modern NCS legends. I'm gonna coin the term there, so you can take that one and run with it if you want. How did the collab Runaway come to be? Arcando, to you first.
Egzod and we have been wanting to make a second track for a while. We have had like I think two other collab ideas. And
Correct.
we had, like different rappers on it, but we never got to finish the tracks. Maybe we should actually hop on that as well. um but because we made Sinking first, which was our Future Generation release already like 2 years ago now.
Hmm.
And then after two other sort of trial tracks, we wanted to hop on another track, and then you sent me this top line with like a whole other instrumental. And then I was so in love with what Matthew sang, and I was like, you know what, let me flip the whole instrumental and start like a whole new break with new chords, everything. And so you sent me the stems, I just made the like the first part of the production, and then you made the drop, and then we both just finished the record. And that's just like a summary of how it went.
Like you said, at first I got the top line from Matt, and then I started working on an instrumental, but I wasn't like quite happy with it, and I was kind of stuck. So like sometimes I feel like it's also a great idea to like see if you have, like-minded producers and friends that, could probably jump on and bring their insight into the track. And I thought like Arcando was the best option for this one. So when I sent it to him, and he felt very inspired, and like he said, he switched up the chord progression, which gave like a more like futuristic vibe in a way, because like the original progression was like more like pop oriented.
It was really acoustically, yeah.
Yes. Uh-huh. And then from them, what's cool is that when you work with like-minded people like him, it's like we fit those ideas into each other, and it's like it's almost like having like just one brain working towards the track, and not like two separate brains.
When we were sitting down in the studio trying to figure out what we wanted to do, and we wanted to feel like there was something that fit thematically with like you guys as producers, but also something that like we could very much like relate to and like speak about in that moment. And I think like especially coming out of like the last 2 years that we've all felt, it's just like,
Yes,
I just felt very much like I just wanted to like break free and out of like my condo and out of like my city and out of my country and just like get away and escape. And I just felt like every day was kind of feeling very much the same. And I was so used to traveling so much with work and like all these different things with that. It was so weird for me to be a musician that just stayed in my home. So I think that we both felt very pent up, and we were really like ready to get out and run away, for lack of better terms. So I think that that's where the inspiration kind of pulled from, and I think that there's a lot of people who can relate to that right now for sure.
For anyone that's starting out on their journey, whether they're a new producer, a new writer, a new vocalist, what kind of tips could you give to them? Whether it's production tips, writing tips, or just general advice for networking and getting your brand out there. Egzod, will come to you first on this one.
I would say like if the person like literally just started producing, I would say like try to like how do you say, like reproduce songs that already exist, so like improve the skills for like many types of artists and producers. That's what I used to do, at least like when I started, when I was 14, 15. I would just try to recreate like an Avicii song or a Swedish House Mafia song, and that way like it just helped me to get all the technical skills down, and then from there, like the more you do, I mean, it's really like about practice, and the more you do, then the more your skills improve. And then from there, you're like, when you have the technical down, then you can kind of like create your own recipe, which then match with your own vision that you want to do. And then when it comes to networking, also like something that really helped me was to connect with people online, just hitting people up, like send some tracks, comment, being engaging. You don't want to be spammy and like sending emails and DMs to everyone, but it's definitely important to at least be engaged in the community, and also try to also help people in your own way and stuff like that. And so that's what helped me grow a lot, was to connect with people online. And as far as like the technical part, was at first to really focus on like recreating songs that already exist.
One of the first things is like, make it an easy job for someone to say yes to your pitch. So rather than going to someone asking if they have an instrumental for you, go to them with a top line that you think is going to work for them, where the vocals are pitched, they're clean, they are easy to work with, you have all of the stems, and you just send them a listening link or a few. Because if I'm a producer, I'm sitting back, and you guys can speak to this for me, but I would see it very easy to go through a link of 5 songs saying, do you want any of these? They're already recorded, they're already clean, they're already crisp, and if you find that you need edits, I'll get edits for you. That to me feels like a way easier yes than can you hold an instrumental for me? I'm going to take 2 weeks writing a top line to it. And then if you don't like it, you have to go out and pitch it again. And, you know, it just seems, I would say, make your pitch easy. And
Yes.
to follow up on that piece of insight, be an actual fan of the people that you're pitching to, because there would be, correct me if I'm wrong, but there would be no benefit in me coming to, you know, Egzod, pitching a, you know, 120 BPM, like deep house, party club slapper. Like it, like, I don't think that that would make sense. And in turn, it also shows him that, like, I'm not a diehard fan. I'm just trying to land this song wherever it lands.
Yes.
So I think you're going to find the most authentic interactions, the most authentic partnerships, pitching to artists that you actually listen to, that, like, you really enjoy. And in turn, I think you understand the genre a lot better, and you can see the potential of what's going to happen there. Like, we went back and forth the other day, Egzod, on following up on something else. And I talked about what reference, I'm like, am I picking up where you left on right now? Are you listening to anything new? And in turn, I'm thinking we're in this BPM range. Do you want me to push it faster or slower? And I think that we understand each other on that level now. So it made it a bit easier. So I would say, like, don't just cast a wide, uneducated web. Make sure that if you're going to focus on pitching, keep the net much smaller to start and actually focus on those specific individuals. And if it doesn't work, then pivot. But it's about meaningful interactions and building those relationships, whether you collaborate now, in 5 years, in 10 years, or you never collaborate at all and you just give each other a nod whenever you see each other in person. I feel like that is a respectful, thoughtful, and actually, like, impactful way to go about pitching songs.
The tips that have already been shared, I completely agree with them. I think networking and also the tips from Matthew, I think, are really good. Something I've learned as well, that if you want to collab with new artists, like, send songs to them that fit them. Like, don't just send random stuff, you know. What helped for me with building like a lot more engagement and building a lot tighter relationship with my fans is actually doing live streams, is doing content that's, like, specifically, for example, for YouTube or TikTok. So whether it's doing like tutorials or whatever. I even have done, like, a few gaming streams on Twitch, just finding a lot of different ways to show that you're real, basically. And that sounds really funny, maybe, but nowadays, like, people don't actually have any interaction with their fans anymore, only when they play live. But, like, who actually are you? Like, who is Egzod? Who is Arcando? Who is Matthew? So I found that, you know, doing live streams, it really shows you, like, real time. And I feel like that's one of the main keys for an artist to get a really strong relationship with their fan base.
With the three of you on there, it's going to be hard because you might end up thinking the same things. But the challenge for you today, gentlemen, is to describe Runaway in one word. And it can't be the word runaway, because that's a complete cop-out. I'll give you a bit of time to think about it, but one word and why.
I would say, like, galactic, because it's like when you hear this song, you feel like you're being, like, teleported to, like, you know, out of space, basically. So that's how I would describe it.
That's a solid answer. Anyone else?
I'll jump in. My word was cardio, because it's the first word that came from Runaway. And it would be a great song to run on the treadmill too. But
it seriously would.
I was strategic in trying to not find a word that they would have picked. So I think cardio is going to be my
Fair enough.
my choice.
That's a good answer. Arcando, one word to describe Runaway.
I think intense. It's because the whole track is, like, really, it hits you in your feels, especially with, like, this arpeggiated drop, and then my extended drop at the end was just, it's, like, super uplifting. I guess that's actually a better word, uplifting. It continuously lifts you to the next part of the track. So yeah, I think that would be my word.
It's also super dynamic. It's like, it takes on a huge journey. I love how I give a crap word and then I'm suggesting words.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, we've ended up there with 3 people answering questions about 5 words to describe Runaway, but that's what we like to see. Arcando, Egzod, Matthew V, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it, guys.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Make sure
Thank
you
you.
guys check out everyone's socials below. Go and show some love over the Instagram, reply to some tweets, all that good stuff. And the new track Runaway will be out very soon. It's going to be top link in the description for you guys to save and yeah, get that everywhere you need it. And we'll see you next time on NCS Arcade. Peace.
Peace.